How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another an Inconvenient Sports Pod. I am one of three hosts, Adrian, alongside with Rod and Ricky. Say what's up.
Hey guys, how's it going?
All right, so we're gonna talk about what happened on Friday. Was it March 26th? Today is March 28th on a Sunday. No news happened so far, but let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about the Niners blockbuster trade. They traded away the 12th pick. I think it's next year's first and our conditional third round pick we got for Robert Sala going to the Jets, and we in return we got the number three for Miami. It's I did not expect this. I don't think no one did. The internet broke that day. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Rod, you can go first, man.
Yeah, so alrighty. So I actually woke up to Ricky calling me to tell me about this. I was dead asleep. I get a call from Ricky telling me, "Hey, did you see that trade the 49ers made?" And I was like, "Dude, I'm asleep right now. I have not seen anything." And he's like, "We traded up to number 3." And of course, it's Ricky. He's always bullshitting me half the damn time, so I didn't believe him at first till I googled it. And yes, it was true. And hey, we trade up to number 3, most likely going to get a quarterback with that third pick. At this point, it's either going to be Zach Wilson, who's definitely my draft crush, or it's going to be Justin
Mhm.
Fields, who everyone obviously has said that we're going to trade up to get. So does that mean Jimmy G sticks around for this year and he's kind of like that Alex Smith role now, where he has to mentor a quarterback for a year and then he's gonna be traded? You never know, but I don't think we traded up to number 3 to draft Slater, the tackle from Northwestern. I don't think that's even possible. You know.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think we'll jump into those after Ricky's point because yeah, we'll just jump into that after Ricky's point. All right, what'd you think about the trade, Ricky?
So yeah, I was gonna say it would be a total bullshit trade if we did not get a quarterback at number three. Like you don't trade up to number three and not get a quarterback. Like it's obvious they're gonna get a quarterback. There's no other reason why they would have done it. And I don't know, like if it happened. Also, did this happen during Wilson's pro day? Was it like did it come out like that exact same time? Do you guys know?
Yeah, it was that same day, and I think I think before the pro, like an hour before the pro day, people were saying that John Lynch was gonna attend, but I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I honestly,
We'll talk more about it. But go ahead.
yeah. So honestly, man, I was shocked. I thought right because we were all talking about what we're gonna do at number 12. But then I
Hmm.
read the news. And I'm like, wait, number three. That changes the scenario for everything that
Hmm.
the Niners had planning and the Dolphins had planning and eventually the Eagles did. Um, but dude, it was crazy. So yeah, I believe deep down inside of me that Wilson will go number two. If he doesn't go number two, I will be shocked. But if he doesn't go number two, guess what? He's gonna go number three. The Niners are gonna get Zach Wilson. And like Rado was saying, I think it's gonna fall into that category of yeah, maybe it's gonna be that situation like it was with Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes. But maybe it could also be a little like a reality check, like for Jimmy. Like the way it was with like Jordan Love last year getting drafted by the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. Everyone was talking like, okay, is this the end? So I don't know. It's gonna be really interesting to see. But I definitely expect them to draft a quarterback at number three. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I mean, it's so obvious. You don't trade into the top five picks to not get a quarterback that you like or whatever type of player, like a very skillful player. But for this reason, for the Niners situation, it makes sense that they're gonna go get a quarterback. It's pretty obvious the Jimmy G era is gonna end. But the one thing that is kind of BSing a little bit, I don't think Jimmy's gonna stay as the Niners quarterback before the season because one, you drop a top five pick, that cap hit is high, and I think that cap hit is at 26 million for that number three pick, whoever it might be. And on top of that, you're keeping Jimmy G's contract alongside with it. So it doesn't really make sense to keep that number three on the bench when he's getting a lot of money, while Jimmy G is doing the same as well. And I think the Niners are just blowing smoke up everyone's ass and saying like, "Hey, like he's gonna be the starter." And I read a lot of reports saying that it's all for just to drive up the draft, like some trade capital for someone to be really desperate in need of a quarterback. I don't know who it might be. They're saying that the Patriots are off the table now since yeah, they did sign Cam Newton to what was it like an $18 million deal or something like that. Am I
Yeah.
wrong?
Yeah, no, it
Yeah,
was accurate. Like 18, 18.
yeah, something along those lines. But yeah, I was telling Rod this like, come on, like yeah, okay, I get the mentorship thing, but Patrick Mahomes was drafted. What was he drafted?
I
Was it
think
12?
10 or somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
10. And what Deshaun Watson was. Well, he didn't get mentored or anything. He started off the bat, but I think for this case, I don't see like a top five pick at quarterback is going to sit on the bench, in my opinion. But I don't know. What do you guys think is going to happen with the QB situation,
I mean, for San
Rod?
Francisco, it's definitely a wait and see, I think, right now, because look at what Arizona did. Arizona dealt Josh Rosen, who was supposed to be their guy. They didn't deal him until after they drafted Kyler Murray, right? That
Yeah,
was accurate. They
yeah,
they traded him like the next day for a second round pick or something like that. So he actually didn't get dealt until draft day. So I think San Francisco might wait up until that point where they can say, hey, do they want to use him as a mentor, or if they're going to get rid of him because they're just wanting to move on. Patriots are definitely out of it. I think they were calling so much to try to make a deal with San Francisco, and they didn't want to give him up so soon. Like, I don't think they were so sure that they were going to be able to get a deal done to trade into the top five. I think that's why a deal with New England wasn't made. But now that they have that top five pick, I think now, like even John Lynch has said it. Basically, he kind of just said that they're not gonna not entertain ideas of a trade scenario. But you look at it at this point, who is kind of left that's gonna trade for a quarterback? Maybe Chicago, even though they already signed Andy Dalton. Um, I can't really think of any other team that could possibly still try to trade for Jimmy at this point. And given his injury history, I think a lot of teams are going to try to lowball us at this point. Well, we're not going to get back that second round pick for sure that we gave up for him. It's definitely going to be like a third or fourth rounder at this point. The longer we wait, I think. Um,
yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I said, I honestly Jimmy G's like injuries. He can be the starter week one. We can have a rookie quarterback as our second string guy. But I think if that's the scenario we're gonna be in, where Jimmy's our starter week one, we drafted a quarterback, whether it's Zach Wilson or Justin Fields. If they're gonna be sitting behind Jimmy, at some point Jimmy's gonna get hurt again next season, and either way, that quarterback is gonna be thrown in. So it's kind of like,
Jeez,
I mean,
Damn, man,
I mean,
that's a bold prediction.
that's a bold
hey, like
prediction.
I'm all for Jimmy G playing healthy and being consistent, but you look at his time in New England, he was supposed to be that starting quarterback for the 4 games that Tom Brady was suspended for, and he couldn't even last 4 games for them. He got injured during the second game of the season. Jacoby Brissett came and finished up. So, I mean, I don't know. Would I trust Jimmy to play another 16 games again? I don't know. And at this point, if he even, like I said, if he's a week one starter for us, he might not even last to week 8 for a rookie quarterback to be starting for us.
Dang.
And whether that be with injury or I mean, you guys have seen it firsthand. Remember that 49ers Eagles game where Alex Smith threw that incompletion on third and long and the fans started screaming, "We want Carr. We want Carr." And I actually went to the Niners and Cardinals game on a Thursday night back when it was like the Chip Kelly era. Blaine Gabbert was a starting quarterback. All of a sudden, same thing. Blaine Gabbert threw an incompletion on third down, and all of a sudden, the entire stadium was erupting. We want Cap. We want Cap. So, in essence, what's going to stop fans from saying we want Wilson or we want Fields some point this season if everything is not going how we expected it to go by that point of this season?
Well, just to let you know, Garoppolo was that name called. Um, I think that first year he was signed. Remember that one game where I think we played against the Seahawks at home,
Hmm.
and he got his like little couple plays. He was his name was getting called, and I don't know. It's just crazy how times changes, right?
Right.
Yeah. All right, Ricky,
so
what's your say, dog?
so honestly, man, like there were a lot of like winners and losers in this whole trade up thing. I mean, if you look at it, if you're Zach Wilson, bro, you're a winner in this trade because that means you're gonna go. That means that you're gonna go either number two, or number three. You know, that's a good thing for Zach Wilson. And like another like for a loser in this scenario would also be Garoppolo because that's like holy shit, I am on the hot seat now. If I'm Garoppolo, I'm worried. Like it's like like now like the spotlight is on him, but not the spotlight that he wanted. Like I think he's gonna be feeling a lot of pressure on that, and then like I feel like another also somewhat winner is Tua from Miami. I mean, because we're thinking about it at number three, were they gonna take a quarterback? Because dude, we didn't know we were gonna get out of Tua. We didn't know if the Dolphins were all committed on Tua. If they thought that he was gonna be their guy moving forward. Like he had like an okay rookie year. Not great, but we got to see a little bit of Tua, and I'm sure we can expect good things from Tua. He's a good quarterback if we just give him a full offseason as a starter and get him comfortable. And so I hope to see that from Tua. Another loser I think would probably be the Panthers, guys. Like I don't know, the Panthers were really like low radar team in regards of like they were probably going to be looking at a quarterback. And when you think about it, I think they hold like the number 8 pick.
Yeah, the eighth
They
pick, and they were
probably want.
actually
Yeah, go
sorry,
for it. Go for it.
sorry, Ricky. I was just mentioning they were actually willing to trade that eighth pick away for Matthew Stafford when the Lions were trying to seek trade partners for him. I remember that.
Yeah, and I think also maybe in Deshaun Watson because I think didn't they make an offer for Deshaun Watson too? That it was they just the Texans rejected or something. So it's kind of like damn. So what if one of them wanted Zach Wilson or a Justin Fields or a Trey Lance? Like and maybe it won't be there at 8. So maybe they would have wanted to trade up to number 3 or or something. And but dude, like so this trade didn't only impact the Niners and Dolphins, but it impacted like a couple of other teams. And
Mm-hmm.
so like it it was just that big of a deal, because we're gonna see a lot of quarterback changes in the league. I think next year, there's gonna be just a lot of new names being called in, and just so it's exciting to see, man. I'm excited to see what happens. Like I said, Jimmy's on the hot seat now officially. Because like I said, they're gonna like we can all agree they're gonna draft a quarterback at number 3. It's gonna happen, and if they don't, I think we're all gonna have a podcast where we're just gonna be losing our shit if they don't
Yeah.
draft a quarterback. Because we gave up what? What did we give up? We gave up the
Well,
third
we get
round
up
pick,
two for.
We gave
the
Uh
up
two
huh.
first rounders.
Yeah, that was
yeah
it. That
two.
was literally it. It was not a bad
We
deal.
gave up
That's actually not a bad deal at all.
two future firsts, and then the third round pick that we got for Robert Sala. So basically, we kind of just gave up two of our future first because that pick didn't even belong to us until Robert Sala left.
And that's just to get it from 12 to 3.
That's not
That
bad.
is not a lot. Just two draft picks. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Well,
But
well, well,
the nine.
no,
Well, go
but
ahead. Go
we,
ahead.
we can agree that we are gonna lose our shit though if we don't draft the quarterback at number 3.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like who the hell are the Niners gonna draft? Like, did they like JC? What is
J.C.
his name?
Horn.
JC Horn that much to draft him? Did they like him that much to draft him number
Chase
3,
Warren, I don't know. I don't think so.
or some random pick?
I
Like
wouldn't draft a
maybe it's not even
DB.
Slater. Matt. Yeah. I mean I wouldn't draft that. None of the DBs are worth a top 5 pick for this draft,
If
obviously. But what people are oh, go
No, I
ahead,
was
go ahead.
gonna say,
I'll get to my
I'm
point
sorry,
then
I'm sorry.
for the next thing.
If Deion Sanders isn't a young Deion Sanders isn't back on the draft board, I wouldn't take a DB with the third overall pick. Like none of these DBs, I don't think are top three worthy.
Wasn't Charles Woodson wasn't Charles Woodson a top 5 pick though? Wasn't he? Once upon a time.
Once upon a time, but yeah, no, like I'm saying, there's no. These DBs, like, there are definitely some first round talents, but I don't see a Deion Sanders or a Charles Woodson or an Ed Reed, one of those guys that you definitely need to have in a top five pick. How
Patrick
about
Sertan looked
y'all?
pretty good at his pro day on Friday.
Oh yeah, he
Sertan
had a
looks
really
good,
good
dude.
pro day.
I don't think I don't think maybe top five, but that guy looks good.
Yeah. Oh, but so it it was kind of telling though from what the Niners were going to do in this draft because I was really excited for free agency, not only because of who we're going to sign, but what the picture paints for us for this upcoming draft. Because we literally got, I think we got all of our DBs back except for Richard Sherman and probably one other guy. And I was just thinking like, where does this first round draft pick fit? Like, Emmanuel Mosley is supposedly gonna. Well, he's not playing the slot no more because we signed Kwan Williams back. But you got Jason Verrett coming back. We got Emmanuel Mosley coming back. K1 got signed again, and Dante Johnson got signed. So where does that DB fit? And
I think
I was looking
the
at
only question is probably the safety because I don't know if I can rely on Jankowski Tart to go a full season healthy.
yeah. I mean, we did sign. What was that
Marcel
guy's name?
Harris too.
Marcel Harris.
Um,
Well, we signed that guy from the Lions. I forgot his name.
oh,
Wilson. I know his last.
Tavon Wilson from
Yeah.
the
So I think
Colts. From
it's
the Colts, I think.
yeah, yeah, it's Von Wilson. So this makes sense now because I was looking at needs and I'm like, where do we have the needs at? Yeah, we could probably do D lineman, but we signed a pretty good, I think a really underrated nose tackle. I forgot the dude's. I know his last name is Kerr. But he came from the Panthers and he was really solid last season. And that was a really underrated signing. And we signed more D line guys. So I'm like, okay, we're really going to use another first round pick
On a
on the
defensive
D line
lineman.
again. Doesn't make
Screw
sense
that.
on a defensive lineman again. But I think the quarterback one makes more sense. I mean, I think the Niners. I was I was watching. I forgot who I was watching, but someone said that the Niners were so comfortable in trading the top three that I think they'll be happy with whoever falls to them, whether it be Wilson, Justin Fields. But the two names I really don't like, and I think people are just saying it because they think Jimmy G is going to be the starter, is Mac Jones or Trey Lance. I don't like those picks at number three. I like there's just too much talent for the top three quarterbacks right now for Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Justin Fields, and I think it's just really dumb if you pass literally any of those three up. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, who should we draft at number three? Who's your favorite quarterback? If we were to make that pick, who are you going to pick at number three? Whether say Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson are off the board,
Oh,
who are you going to pick at number
screw
three?
you.
Wait, if Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence are off, would we pick at number three?
Who are you picking at number three? Because I seen a lot of debate, and I know who I want to pick at number three. But go ahead, you guys go ahead and who are you gonna draft at number three at quarterback? With the remaining quarterbacks on the board, who are you gonna draft at number three?
I mean, realistically, regardless, I think we're gonna get Justin Fields. But if that's not the case, another guy that I do trust, and I don't, so you just say you don't like him, is Mac Jones, dude. Mac Jones is a really good quarterback. And this isn't Alabama bias, or anything. But dude, if you look at some of his highlights and tape, the guy is like, I don't think I've ever seen like a quarterback at Alabama with that much, what do you call it, composure and like confidence in the pocket and throwing a ball than Mac Jones. And because dude, like the guy has a good touch on the ball. He can really like when he's mobile, he can make plays when he's mobile. He can make a little scramble, take off. he doesn't have the strongest arm, but the guy has probably like one of the most accurate touches. You know, he had one of the most accurate touches in college football this last season. And yeah, he eventually led him to win that national championship game. You can say, I mean, yeah, Devontae Smith wouldn't be Devontae Smith without good throws from a quarterback and Mac Jones. So it's I'm not saying he's a top three quarterback, but I'm saying if those two other guys were gone, I'd take Mac Jones. Trey Lance, I mean, I don't know, it's a 50-50 with Trey Lance. I really don't know what I'd get, realistically wise with him. But if I had to choose a guy for our system, I would go with Mac Jones. But like I said, we're gonna get Justin Fields, dude. We're gonna get Justin Fields because Zach Wilson, I think, is gonna go number two. I say Justin Fields. That's for me. I don't know. What do you think, Rod?
Well, if I was a GM and like you said, AG, Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson are off the board at 1 and 2, that would be a really hard choice for me because emotionally, I'm a Trey Lance fan. And I only say that emotionally because on paper, you know, being an FCS quarterback, only having a year in the system, and then he didn't even throw that many passes. He was mostly used as a running quarterback. They ran a lot of quarterback draws, a lot of read option, and they were primarily a run first team in that entire season that he was a starter. So he definitely needs some work. Now, I don't know, and I know you hate this idea, AG, about not having a number 3 overall pick being on the bench for a whole season. But if we draft Trey Lance at number 3 and he sits a whole season just to learn, I think long term he's probably the better quarterback if he sits and learns because he's just physically gifted. Like his arm, he's an athlete as a runner. So long term, with proper coaching, Trey Lance by far is I think my favorite to be the number 3 overall pick. But I think definitely Justin Fields. I don't know. I just don't really like the idea of an Ohio State quarterback because and I mean look at the past like Ohio State quarterbacks that have came into the NFL like Cardell Jones, Troy Smith, Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins, okay, I get it. There's a whole other deal that's going on with him where he just doesn't seem like he gives a shit about playing football, and I know Justin Fields is truly passionate about this game, right? It was like that comparison with Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel. That Baker Mayfield was exactly like Johnny
Uh-huh.
Manziel, but he actually gave a shit about football. And I think that's exactly how Justin Fields is. Justin Fields is Dwayne Haskins who actually cares to play football and isn't going to be in a strip club maskless like right after they lost a game. You know, Justin
Rod,
Fields.
but do you Rod, do you think that Justin Fields is better than all the other Ohio? You think he's probably one of the best quarterbacks Ohio State has ever had?
I think he's probably
I
the
mean, because you said you can't. You say you can't really trust an Ohio State quarterback, but I mean, and I go back to the list too. Cardell Jones, you got J.T. Barrett was probably one of the greats that
JT
Ohio State had.
Barrett.
Don't forget about Troy
Yeah,
I
Smith.
Troy
I
Smith
did
too
say
was
Troy
another
Smith.
one.
Yes. Yeah.
Braxton Miller was another guy that was it was a wildcat thing, but Justin Fields is just. I feel like I get a different vibe from him. I feel like he's different than all those other guys. You know,
That dude's
like
like a baller, man. He's a baller. Like
there's something about
he'll
him that just when you look at him in the offense, you're like, this is different than any other Ohio State quarterback we've ever seen.
And don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
he
I
is
mean,
tough.
I can't.
Sorry, Ricky, go on.
Yeah, he.
No,
Oh yeah,
all
go
you,
on.
dude.
Oh, and I'll give him that.
It
He
just
is tough.
he he is tough. Like I've seen some clips of him like standing in the pocket with literally a 300-pound lineman coming right for him. I think someone posted it when he played against Michigan. They played against Michigan, right?
Not this past
Yeah, they did.
season.
Um,
Not this
yeah,
past season, but the season before.
not this. Uh, was he starting last season?
He was the starter
Yeah,
last season. Yeah, it was
He
last
he did.
season
Or
where he
well,
got
well
injured.
the the the
Oh,
season
it was the
before that was
season
he starting?
before. Yes, the season before he was starting. This past season, Michigan
Yeah. Well,
basically
it was
opted out of playing against them because of COVID.
yeah. So, well, I saw a clip of that game, and like, dude, he stood in the pocket and delivered a good throw. He was reading his options,
Yeah.
and he made the throw. Like, and plus, he can move around the pocket. I just want a quarterback that moves around in the pocket. And whether it be Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, they can do that, and they can read their options that they have in the field, which Kyle Shanahan wants people to do. And Jimmy G, like, he's a. I said it. I'll say it again. I'll say it. I said it before, and I'll say it again. He's like a deer in headlights. He'll just he'll just look at one thing, and you freak out and doesn't move, and he just stands there. He just stands there, and it just pisses me off. But Justin Fields is a different quarterback than any other Ohio State quarterback, and you can, but Mac Jones, you can say the same thing about him. When was the last time there was a good Alabama quarterback?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, I think the last reliable one I could think of was probably Jalen Hurts, and that was when he was running the ball. They were doing a bunch of read options with him with Lane Kiffin. That's the only one I could remember. The one before that, I mean, Jake Coker didn't really do much that year. It was all Derrick Henry. The year before that, Blake Sims, it was another, AJ McCarron before that was, probably the winningest quarterback in Bama history, I think, or something. And AJ McCarron was just like running screens and throwing drag routes. He really didn't have it. But Mac Jones, like he runs an RPO like really good, which is something like I think a lot of teams do nowadays in college football, and in the
Mhm.
NFL, it's just coming as they're adapting it. And so, but his touch, man, I'm telling you, if you look at his 2019 highlights in the Orange Bowl when he played against Michigan, dude, on some of those deep balls to Jerry Judy and Henry Ruggs. I was like, God damn, that is a nice ball. And the thing about it that stood out to me was just the confidence, man. He just stands in there and he's just like, okay, I know what I'm gonna do, and just makes it look like effortless, dude. And for a guy that came in at that situation, because the spotlight was on Tua that year, and for a guy to just come in like that, and you know, it was impressive. I was impressed. And we all saw what he did this last season. First year as a starter, win a national championship game, and it was so that was cool. But
Yeah,
I understand the risk taker on Mac Jones too.
yeah, and I think with all those quarterbacks, whether it be they're from Ohio, from past quarterbacks in the past, or Alabama, whoever gets drafted at number 3, they're gonna have the best situation than any other number 3 quarterback has got picked at. Because you have one of the smartest head coaches in the NFL and play callers, and I think whoever gets picked at that is going to succeed. Because you look at, I saw a list of other top 3 picks in previous drafts. You got Sam Darnold, Carson Wentz, um, and there's a few others, but they end up in bad situations and they didn't pan out because they didn't have the consistent coaching. And I think when we have that consistent quarterback, the coaching is going to be consistent, and they're just going to mesh really well. And I think whoever gets picked at that spot, and I hope to God it's Justin Fields other than Mac Jones. I think he's going to succeed in the NFL. He's going to be really great with Shanahan. And I saw Steve Young saying that with the Niners trading to that number 3 pick, it it opens the window for a Super Bowl run even more for a long term, like dynasty talk right
Oh
here.
yeah.
This is going to open up a door for many years to come for us to succeed. Plus, we have the quarterback at a rookie deal, and it's going to help us get players, bring players in from future free agencies. Sign guys that can help us take us to those Super Bowls. And I think this was, at the end of the day, this was a really great trade. But I hope the Niners get Justin Fields because he is a baller, and I like him.
And
Any final thoughts, Red,
like I
on
said,
this topic?
I really hope the Jets do a Jets thing and draft like Jamar Chase or Penny Sewell at number 2 so Zach Wilson can fall to us. I just want the Jets to jet so Wilson can be available to us at the third pick because
Uh,
that's my dream scenario right now. Is Wilson is going to be our starting quarterback because I just love that dude. He's He's there was a comparison to some other quarterback I can't remember right now, but he was called Brett Favre on a motorcycle, and that's exactly what I think Wilson is. He's Brett Favre on a motorcycle. And don't get me wrong, like I said, Justin
Mm-hmm.
Fields is great, tough guy. He took a huge shot against Clemson where he injured his ribs and he left for a little bit. I believe he came back in that game and still threw a touchdown pass to Chris Olave. Correct, Ricky? I know you watched that game.
Yeah, it was a badass touchdown too, man.
All right, sorry guys, we got caught up with some technical difficulties, but we fixed it and we gave it right back into conversation. All right, sorry guys, we had a little technical difficulty. Um, where we left off was, I think, the touchdown in the Clemson versus Ohio State game, right, Rod?
Yeah, I just wanted to say about how I know that Justin Fields was so tough. I remember he took a shot against Clemson in that semifinal game, came back later on with like like fractured ribs or something. I know he hurt his ribs really good, and he still came back and threw it,
Mm-hmm.
deep pass to Chris Olave in the end zone. So that's just, the guy has some stones on him for sure, but you know, and he's passionate. He's a leader. I'm just scared a little bit because of Ohio State. And I know if
Mm-hmm.
anybody can coach up any quarterback, it's going to be Kyle Shanahan because, like you said, Kyle Shanahan's, such a great minded, I'm sorry, such a great offensive minded head coach. And now he has an OC with them to be that second opinion on play calls. Just,
Mm-hmm.
and like you said before, it's the best situation to be in for any quarterback that's being drafted third overall. If you're being drafted third overall by a team, that team is usually pretty bad. But the Niners, when healthy, they're obviously the best roster in football, without a doubt. One of the best.
Yeah.
Kansas
And
City traded away or released both of their starting tackles. I don't think they're going to be as offensively talented as they are, but like I said, Zach Wilson, no matter what for me. But if I'm thinking about long term and I still want to have Jimmy be a mentor, I'm probably gonna go Trey Lance, number 3. That's just me.
mm-hmm. All right, Ricky, you're number three. Just real quick,
Uh, I said Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. All right, yeah, same here. Hey, Justin Fields, no matter what. That's the meme that's going on. I
Screw
love it.
you, AG.
But all right.
I still love Jimmy.
Well, Jimmy's gonna be gone on draft day, so I'm sorry. But all right. Well, let's have a little fun here. Let's shit on the Miami and Philly trade. That was so weird. So, all right. So Philly had the number 6 overall pick. They are currently in a rebuild. Um, Miami just making moves. They're playing chess, not checkers. And Philly is playing. I don't even know. They're like doing a coloring book or something. But yeah. What do you guys think about that trade with Miami and Philly? And what do you think Philly's gonna do?
Rod, you can go
It
first.
was like such a weird trade because if you think about it, at the end of the season, if Philly had won that last game, they would have been picking ninth. And they purposely tanked. They benched Jalen Hurts and they threw in Nate Sudfeld to finish the game. And that was the worst display of tanking I've ever seen. An open display of tanking by any team in NFL history. Like you look at the 0-16 Browns, that tank that the Eagles did to land the 6 overall pick, I think was way worse than the Browns could have. And I know they went winless, and I know that's a big argument to make. I'm just saying, and the reason why I'm so irritated, I'm so pissed off about this, is because you purposely tank on live TV because it was a Sunday night game, correct? It was like the last game of the season, so it was Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
You openly tank in front of a national audience. You fire your coach after that game. You trade away your quarterback during the offseason. So you get rid of everybody. And then you say, you know what? Yeah, we tanked. We got rid of our coach who purposely tanked. We got rid of our quarterback, even though we fired our coach because we wanted to stick with our quarterback, only to now
Mm-hmm.
trade back all the way to 12th. So you mean to tell me all their efforts that they did was just a slap in the face to Eagles fans? Because you're going down from 6 where you purposely wanted to be in that situation all the way down to 12 pick. You could have had anybody at 6. And cuz if 3 quarterbacks go off the board with the first 3 picks and you're sitting there at 6, you still have the ability to draft almost anyone.
Yeah.
And like you said, chess not checkers or whatever the dang phrase is, but you 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 can have an elite wide receiver at 6 because I know Philly's wide receivers are just terrible. You could have drafted Jalen Waddle, Devontae
Hmm.
Smith, or Devontae. I'm not sure, but
Devontae.
Devontae.
Devontae, yeah.
Okay, I thought it was Devonta. I'm sorry, Devontae Smith, Jalen
Uh-huh.
Waddle, Jamar Chase. You could have had any of those guys at 6. If you trade down to 12, now you can still draft a receiver, but you might not get those talented guys at that same pick. And you never know. Maybe they might go offensive line. Their offensive line was just as terrible as their receiving core. And
Hmm.
everyone was saying that the Niners were going to draft a lineman at that 12th pick. So it's not that much of a reach to say Philly might go receiver with the 12th pick, but I'm just saying all the efforts that they did from that last game of the season till now just kind of seems wasted at this point, and it's a real slap in the face to Philly fans. I'm sorry if there's going to be any Philly fans who listen to this. You got screwed over big time by Howie Roseman.
All right, Ricky. What do you think, man?
I mean, we could say that, Rod. We definitely could say that. I mean, but in a way, I mean, there were rumors going around that the Eagles were actually trying to do what the Niners did on Friday, which is to trade up to maybe number 3. They were looking to trade up, but the Niners pulled that move. They ended up pulling that move first,
Hmm.
and so then the Eagles were just saying, okay. So there were, and I, from what I think, they were willing to trade back to number 12 with the Dolphins so that they can secure their first round pick this year and I guess the one for next year. Right? That's how it worked out.
Right.
Hmm.
The Eagles have the first round pick. So I don't know if they were really like. I think they were also interested in maybe Zach Wilson, which we don't blame them, right? Because Zach Wilson's pretty badass.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know, man. I mean, Jalen Hurts, when that game against the Saints, he had a pretty good game that game. When he came in, was it against the Packers when he came in?
I believe so.
Was there
When
another
he
game where
went
he?
against the Packers and he threw that touchdown pass to the corner of the end zone, where he like on a rollout.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that
think it was
was.
that game.
I
Yeah.
saw that. And I'm like, oh shit, that was nice. I mean, and we've all, we were like, and to start off, I think we were pretty shocked when Jalen Hurts was drafted last in the second round, right? Like that was that
Hmm.
was the that was
That
the
was the
pick that we
writing
were
on
just
the
like,
wall
oh
for Carson Wentz to
shit.
be
We were
out in
like,
Philadelphia.
yeah,
Well, I mean, I think to be fair, the Jordan Love one was kind of crazy. To be fair,
Jordan Love was crazy.
but go ahead.
But anyways, man, I think the Eagles are gonna start to just they're gonna want to get picks to build around Jalen Hurts, which is I think the right thing to do. I mean,
Hmm.
because I think they could still end up drafting Jalen Waddle at number 12. I think Jalen Waddle will be available at number 12. Um, and then you get a first round pick for next year also. So I don't know, man. I mean, in a way, yeah, you could see it like that, as maybe you did get screwed over this one out. But I don't know if they think that Jalen Hurts is their guy, then Jalen Hurts is their guy. There's going to be no questioning it and whatnot. And what they want to do is build around him because they had no wide receiver help at all last year. Um, I mean, true was it Travis Fulgham and some other
Travis
random
Fulgham
guys. I
and
don't know.
Greg Ward, the former Houston quarterback.
Go. Um, but I don't know, man. So I think they'll draft Jalen Waddle at number 12, and they're gonna start to bring other pieces around Jalen Hurts. So I don't know if you want to say that was a dumb trade or whatnot, but if they think that it's the right thing to do for their franchise in the in the long run, next couple of years, then shoot, we'll see if it pays off or not, right? I mean, I don't know. AG, what do you think?
Yeah, I was telling Rod they're gonna stick with Jalen Hurts, obviously. And right now they're in rebuild mode. And I get it. They need to, you know, get some draft capital and stuff for future, like, you know, for futures to come. They're probably getting ready for, I think, Lane Johnson retiring maybe, or Jason Kelsey retiring soon. And they're probably getting ready for it for next year. And they're probably just, but as a team right now, I mean, I would want to get Devontae Smith at number 6 if he was there. Like, he's worth that pick. He's really good. He can help you. He's way better than any receiver options you had since, you know, Alshon Jeffrey was balling out during that Super Bowl run.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nelson Aguilar too is pretty good.
Nelson Aguilar too, yeah. But I mean, I understand it's a head scratcher for everyone. Like, why would you do like trade back 6 to 12? Because in my eyes, I think they should draft anyone with the best talent on the board, and that's
Yeah.
Devontae Smith. You know, he's way better than any other receiver after him, by far, and he's just a baller, dude.
And you mean to
But
say
I
that
don't know.
someone else going to be more talented than Devonte Smith or Kyle Pitts that you could have had at 6?
I'm not saying that. I'm not
No, I
saying
don't
that.
think. I don't. Yeah, I don't think that's There's also like I don't know. I don't know Jamar if you put Jamar Chase in the same category as Devonte Smith,
Mhm.
but I get what he's saying.
Yeah, it's just they're just focusing on the future to come. Like, they just want that. They're doing what Miami's doing. They just want that draft capital, to draft all these, like, draft in-house guys to build
Yeah.
off of for Jalen Hurts, for for them to eventually make a playoff run. They're redoing the roster, and it's completely understandable now that I think about it. But it is kind of a head scratcher that you traded away the sixth pick to the 12th to get to not get Devontae Smith right there, which is a real head scratcher for everybody. And I think that's what everyone was expecting, and it just came out of left field. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that situation. Um, but hey, it's Philly, man. What are you gonna do? Um, I think the last thing we'll talk about right now to wrap things up is March Madness.
Oh my
Man,
god.
it's been a hell
Man,
of a March
whatever,
Madness. I'll give
man.
you that.
I did say that this specific March Madness is way more crazier than any March Madness because the amount of upsets that happened is just insane. Oral Roberts is still deep in this. What is it, Elite Eight now? Is it Elite Eight
No,
They
now?
lost.
they
They
got
lost this year to
eliminated.
Arkansas, bro.
They lost to
Oh, they
Arkansas by
lost?
2.
Oh, they
Yeah.
Yeah.
lost. Well, for them being in it for this long, no one thought they were gonna make it this far. No one thought. Um, Ohio pissed me the hell off. God, Creighton. Yeah, my bracket got so messed up, but yeah. For everyone that wants to know that we're doing a bracket that Ricky started. Um, yeah, a lot of upsets, and it really pisses me off. Um, but
I'm
I
just gonna
guess
say this. If you're uh a big college basketball name fan, it's okay to be sad this year. Like
mhm.
if you're a Duke fan, a Kentucky fan, a Louisville fan, a
You mean
Virginia
like you?
fan, yeah, it's okay to be sad because in all in all honesty, man, none of us predicted this shit.
Yeah, I
no,
remember
no
calling
one
Like
did.
Ricky.
we can all fill in a bracket. We can all fill in a bracket and say, I don't know if that's right, but I'm gonna fill it in. That's exactly how I felt this year. Like I don't know if
Mhm.
it's gonna work, but I'm just gonna fill it in and whatnot. I mean, like it's been crazy. If this had been a regular year where we could have seen teams at their full strength and no distractions like COVID just straight on forward, it would have been completely different. And I thought about
Oh,
that
by
today.
far.
And AG had been saying that a lot. Like this year is totally different, and it definitely has been. And but honestly, we also got to give teams some credit, man. Some of these teams are balling. UCLA is no joke, man. UCLA is
Hmm.
no joke. Who else? Arkansas. I thought Arkansas was gonna lose to Colgate in the first round, dude. And then they ended up beating. Who did they beat last week? I
Was it
forgot who
Oregon
they
State?
beat. No,
Was it or Oklahoma
no. I'm
State?
trying to think. Who did Arkansas? Texas Tech. They ended up beating Texas
Yeah,
Tech
Texas
like
Tech.
by
Oh my
I
two
was the only
points.
god.
one that had
And
Arkansas even getting this far. I remember you were giving me shit for having Arkansas even advancing this
and I
far,
was
and
really fucking praying that Oral Roberts would have eliminated them yesterday, dude.
Oh
Because,
damn.
dude, and then let's like Loyola Chicago when they beat Illinois, that was a pretty crazy upset.
God
Gotta be
damn it.
realistically, because everybody should know not to bet against Loyola Chicago ever in March Madness. And that was, I think Illinois was the first number one to fall down. Um, but dude, there's been a ton of surprises, man. I mean, it's and you're seeing a lot of these guys that are just really balling out. We're used to seeing like these star freshmen, like the Zions of the world, the guys that are just, like, okay, you're gonna come into college 1 year, but then you're gonna leave. Like you,
Hmm.
you just know that. But we're seeing a lot of guys that are 4 year starters, man. Seniors just come out and ball out, man, and it is really cool to see. Like you take example like Gonzaga, for example. I mean, they have I think about like three seniors, I think, in their starting lineup, and dude, it's showing. Like I think Gonzaga may end up winning the whole thing, even though I have Baylor winning. Even though I have Baylor winning it all in my bracket, the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, dude, Gonzaga is good because experience shows a lot, man,
Hmm.
and that's what it all comes down to. I mean, I don't think there's been another like elite freshman, all freshman team other than Duke in 2015 when they had Jaleel Okafor, Tyus Jones, Justin Winslow, Grayson Allen. But they also had experience on that team that helped win a national championship game. When you see, look at the Villanova teams that have won national championships in the last recent years, it's all from like 4 years, like 4 year seniors that have just been there and trusted the process and get put in the work, and it pays off. So it's been cool, like we've been able to see.
Hmm.
So fucking March Madness, man. Definitely is not a normal year, and because of that, in the Elite Eight, we have Oregon State. Yeah, we have Oregon State playing tomorrow in the Elite Eight, which I'm pretty sure nobody had that happening. And then
Ab-
we have,
Absolutely not.
UCLA, a team that was in the first four, a team that was playing to get into the field of 68, or yeah, no, sorry, field of 64 play in. They're in the Elite Eight, man, and that's crazy, man. UCLA is one of the probably most interesting stories of March. Matt Cronin, what he's doing with those other guys. I mean, they put on a show today against Alabama. That was a pretty exciting overtime win. And I'm talking a lot. I'm sorry, Rod, go for it. How about them Ducks, man?
I'm just screw you, Ricky. I'm just heartbroken that Oregon lost
God,
today.
man.
I will forever be an Oregon Duck fan. That's the team I'm always gonna support. I love Oregon. I remember my freshman year. I've always wanted to. I thought I was gonna try to get into Oregon or the Penn States of the world, but yeah, I'm heartbroken right now, man. Like I really had Oregon winning the entire thing because they still had a really good team and they just got outplayed today by USC. And it happens. That's why they also call it March Sadness, I guess. But I still have Baylor in the national
Yeah.
championship. Maybe I'll get some points for having Baylor in the national championship at least.
Wait, what?
But
Oh wait, you
Wait,
had
what?
Oregon. You had Oregon playing against Baylor.
I had Oregon
And
playing Baylor because
winning it
I
all,
had
dude.
Well,
Oregon.
win it all,
Yeah,
but you had Oregon playing against Baylor in the national championship.
I had
Over Gonzaga,
Oregon
Rod? You had them losing
playing.
to Gonzaga on Tuesday?
I had
Come on,
That's
bro.
how confident I
God.
was in Oregon. I had Oregon beating Gonzaga and beating Baylor. That's how confident I was in the Ducks. And
I'll have what he's having.
I mean, if Oregon was in that other bracket with Baylor, like, okay, I could see that,
Oh yeah,
but
that would have been a
for them
way
to
less
beat
competitive
Gonzaga,
bracket. I mean, like I
that's
said, man, I'm a ride or die Ducks fan. I'll support the Ducks to the day I die. And I was gonna roll with the Ducks no matter what. And I remember last year I put so much more effort into my bracket before all this pandemic thing happened. I spent, I don't know, like I want to say like an hour on every game. Like so it took me like 2 weeks to finally like just figure out my whole bracket that Ricky was also throwing when he also said that he wanted to do a work bracket. It took me 2 weeks to fill it out because I spent an hour just going over stats, going over the roster. Like you said, like all these guys
Was that the
who
Zion one, Rod?
I'm sorry?
Was that the year that Zion? Was that 2 years ago?
No, that was just this past
yeah.
one, the past
Oh,
tournament that
oh
got
this.
canceled with COVID.
Oh, last year's.
Yeah, I spent so
I
much
think.
time on
I think
last
a lot
year's
of people are gonna have.
bracket.
Go for it.
Was
Go for it.
that?
Go for it. Go for it.
No, I was just gonna
No, you're
say
good.
I
Go. Go.
spent so much time on making that bracket last year for nothing to happen. Like I was devastated, man. Like I did all my
Mhm.
research. I had Villanova actually winning it all in my bracket. I remember that. I still remember I picked Villanova to be the 20 would be 2020 national champions. And yeah, so I'm definitely heartbroken, one for last year's bracket and two now that Oregon lost.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, that's all I have to say about March Madness. I'm already over it. I'm heartbroken, but I'm also just over March Madness already. I don't even care who wins at this point.
Well, I'm happy because I'm
Damn,
still
man.
alive. I got Houston going to the national championship against Gonzaga. I don't think Baylor's going to handle Houston because Houston's a really good team and they've been balling. But I am
Wait,
sad.
what? Wait,
Yeah,
wait,
yeah,
wait. What
What?
did
yeah,
you just say?
yeah. Houston's a good team. They're a very good team,
They've been
and I
getting
think they're
lucky
going to
for
beat
sure,
Baylor.
but
Okay, but anyways,
You know what? They were good enough to beat Buddy Boeheim's zone, or sorry, Jim Boeheim's zone defense, right, Rod?
zone that zone, man.
that's
I
so.
told you, Ricky, that zone defense, it comes alive when it's tournament time. I don't know how they do it, but they managed to pull off a couple wins once they're in the NCAA tournament. I told you it was gonna happen. I remember you were also giving me shit for having them win even in the first round.
Dude,
And
fuck
I
the
kept
San
telling
Diego
you all
State,
that
man.
week. I was telling you that whole week. The zone, Ricky, the zone. Watch it happen.
Jim
Dang,
Boeheim
this is
does
like,
know how to run a. He knows how to run his zone defense. Though I'm not gonna lie. He's
yeah.
probably the best ever to do it.
And then his son is
All right,
also
right.
playing for him too this past season.
Buddy Boeheim, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm still alive. I'm hoping to God I get at least my next few right. Um, I'm just really happy USC beat Oregon. And
Yes,
I
fight
think
on.
every,
Let's go.
yeah, I think I was one of very few. It was me, you, and someone else that I think picked USC, and everyone else picked Oregon for some reason.
I didn't because I had Iowa beating Oregon in the last round. Iowa didn't fucking even make it. So
Yeah, I'm
I hate
telling you,
Iowa.
this year's more crazier than any other previous year or any of them at all. But yeah. All right. Well, I think we should wrap that up. Today's a short episode. But yeah, we'll be back at it next time, pretty soon, hopefully. And yeah, thank you guys for listening to us, and we'll see you next time. Later.
All right. See you next
Bada
time,
bow.
everybody.